Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a mini version of the Paw Patrol headquarters. If you enjoyed this tutorial and you're new around here, please do consider subscribing to the channel and clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. But without any further ado, let's get started. Now, just before we start building everybody, here are all of the materials that we will need to make our Paw Patrol HQ. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. Feel free to make this 29 by 25 block area grid in your world. It might help you out later. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to. Make sure you got all that stuff. Make sure you've got enough room to make it. Make the grid if you like. And once you're ready, we can begin. Step 1, Paw Patrollers. Come all the way over to the front left hand corner of your grid, if you've made it, and count to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then inwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to place 4 blue concrete on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to go right 1, up 1, right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to go down, right, and join down to the ground. Like that. Inside of this empty space that we have here, we want to place light blue concrete on the inside parts of the dark blue rows that connect to the ground, like this. We want to place glass coming inwards from the bottoms of the light blue rows, with a light blue concrete in between. Place a white concrete on top, light blue on top of that, extend upwards, and then right and left. Extend the white concrete left and right using light blue, and place light blue stained glass block in each of the remaining corners. Grab the light blue concrete and head behind the build, and place a row of light blue concrete horizontally behind the top row of blue concrete like this. You then want to extend the left and right sides of light blue concrete upwards by 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Feel free to stick a blue concrete on top. You want to do the same thing on the right hand side here. You don't have to count it out here, however, as we have already counted it out on the left. Feel free to join the blue concretes together at the top. What we're now going to do is, starting right down at the bottom here, in between the rows of light blue, you want to place this sequence of blocks extending upwards. 5 rows of glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a light blue concrete. 5 more rows of glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another row of light blue concrete, and you should find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of glass, and then another row of light blue concrete will actually do it. So you'll have something which should look like this. And what I would recommend is filling in all of these rows. So you just want to connect them left to right, just like this. You don't have to get too complicated with these things. And once you have filled it in, we can add a little bit of branding for Paw Patrol. So we'll have something which should look like that. You'll notice that we have 3 individual glass sections. We want to take specifically the middle glass section. So there's one below and one above. We want to take the middle block at the bottom of the middle glass section and place a light grey concrete in front of it. Extend the light grey concrete up left diagonally by 2, 1, 2, and up right diagonally by 2, 1, 2. Place a light grey concrete on top of each of those second blocks with a row of 3 light grey concrete horizontal above the top of this. What we then want to do is place a white concrete in the middle of this empty space, up left diagonally and up right diagonally. Fill in the remaining space around the light grey concrete using red concrete, and that will give us roughly, I know that it's not big enough that we can actually tell, but I mean, if you're a fan, that is the Paw Patrol logo. We can't really do much better with the space given to us. What we are now going to do is grab our white concrete and we are going to make a pattern in the ground. So, where we have this light blue concrete here on both sides of the door, we want to place white concrete extending outwards diagonally behind the 2 rows of light blue concrete. We want to then place, moving outwards diagonally again, rows of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white concrete, moving outwards diagonally from these single rows. We then want to place a single white concrete coming diagonally out of the back of those 2 rows, extending inwards, and then we want to place a horizontal row of white concrete like this, joining all together at the back, and that is basically a circle. You can take this circle, and by the way, we also want to just fill in these 2 little blue concrete areas here. You can take the white concrete circle and extend all of it upwards. The white concrete circle wants to go as high as the white concrete that is, or rather, it wants to go as high as the light blue concrete that is on the front of the build. You don't want to extend it as high as the blue. We have a different idea for the blue. So this is going to be quite long, a little bit tedious really, but this is what we want to do. The reason that I keep flying back down to the ground to extend the rows upwards is because it's actually really annoying to build downwards on Bedrock. Because you don't build at the same pace that you actually move at. So it's actually a little bit annoying to build downwards. It's a bit of a task. So it would actually be a little bit easier if you're on Bedrock as well. I don't know whether this applies all the way across the different consoles and, you know, Pocket and Windows 10, all of that. It's actually easier probably just to go left and right to build upwards rather than to like go up and down. It used to be that on Xbox One edition, which is the edition that I like to play, before Bedrock came, that you could like build up and down in like long, easy rows, but unfortunately you can't do that anymore, and it's just a little bit annoying when it comes to specific parts of builds. But we want to just extend all of these blocks upwards, and this will be the main tower portion. Luckily, this will be a huge amount of the tower built once we have reached the point in which we have built the entire tower. So we'll raise up all of these. We will give the tower feet. That is quite important. There are 3 feet to the tower. It's also cool because it adds a little bit of extra color down to the bottom of the tower. It's a really nice design. I really like the headquarters. I think that it looks really cool. I like the color combinations. I like how it looks, and I think that it turned out really well. So we want to have something, ladies and gentlemen, that should look exactly like that. Looks a little bit weird at the moment, but we are certainly going to be seeing to that. So what we're going to do, first we want to add the feet to the tower, as I mentioned. On the right side, the left side, and the back side, we are going to be doing this to the tower. I'd recommend starting with the end of a flat part of the tower and placing 5 red concretes extending outwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then extend that red concrete backwards and join it to the other part of the tower. So like connect the left side to the right. Place yellow concrete on top of the red concrete like this. And then use white concrete to slowly build what would appear to be a little staircase, kind of like this, leading up towards the tower like that. That is absolutely perfect, except for the fact that the white concrete, of course, wants to be extended towards the back of the build, just like this. And we'll join the front and the back together. And in addition to this, we are going to extend the red concrete and the yellow concrete inwards towards the tower. You'll notice that it doesn't quite connect to the tower properly. All you got to do is just delete the 2 blocks that would have been there, and you end up with a really cool shape. I really like it. We want to do the same thing on the back, and just in case you forgot, we've got another flat part of the tower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the red concrete. Extend across, join it. And we'll do the same thing on this side too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then extend across and join it. You want to have yellow concrete on top of all of the red concrete like this. And we'll do both feet at the same time, at least when it comes to this part, just so that you can kind of see that it's all the same thing. And then we slowly build what I would call the staircase shape that leads you up to the top of your tower. It just makes it look as though that the tower is being a little bit stabilized. I think it just makes it look a little bit better, and of course it is on the actual tower, so I'm not making things up, obviously. This is actually on the tower, so it makes it look cool. Whereas it looked a little bit strange to start off with, because I mean, you're used to seeing like the I don't know what to call it other than like the bird's nest up at the top of the tower, the part where you can actually like see everything from. Kind of reminds me on like how a pirate ship or just like a regular ship, one that you would sail, like it has the bird's nest where like the guy up at the top or whoever's up there has like a spyglass or a telescope and can kind of like see everything. But this is what we're supposed to be dealing with right now, and I think that looks really, really good. What else are we going to do? Well, now we are going to add blue concrete all the way up on the top of the tower. It's going to go all the way around the top on top of the white concrete like this. Perfect. So it forms somewhat of a circle shape. We want to add blue concrete going all the way around the outside. Now, the blue concrete is essentially going to overhang the top of the... It's going to overhang the top of the tower, and it's just going to slot in completely around the blue concrete that we had before. So it's going to overhang the top of the tower entirely by one row all the way around. Now, once you've done that, we're going to grab our light blue concrete, and we are going to add a layer of light blue concrete that just goes on top of the dark blue like this. It's going to go all the way around in pretty much the exact same similar manner, just like this. And we are going to then place light blue concrete on the outside of it. Now, we didn't waste our time placing the light blue concrete on the inside, because that is where we are going to have our ground level. We're going to be able to walk around inside here if we want. So what I'm going to recommend you do is also, once you have completed the outer part of the blue, fill in the center part with your light blue. So just like this will look fantastic. So just like that. And then we're going to grab our yellow concrete, and we're going to place yellow concrete directly on top all the way around the light blues. So it's just going to go all the way around, it's going to sit on top, it's going to join together in the corners and all of that, and we will have something which should look like this. So as you can see, slowly piecing this thing together, it's looking better and better and better. The next thing that we want to do is add a layer of glass. Now, the glass is going to sit on top of the light blue concrete, and it's going to go all the way around the inside of the light blue. And this is almost a little bit tricky to do. What we want to do is make sure that the glass has an entire row kind of set around it. So as you can see, there is one entire row completely around the glass, and if you wanted to, you can walk around it. So that's exactly what we're looking for. That's exactly what you want to have. Raise up the glass by 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. And then we can put a lid on this thing. Quite literally put a lid on it. So it really doesn't matter how you do this exactly, as long as we have the glass raised up by 4 layers. Well, we're raising it up by 3 now because we already had the 1 layer, but in total the glass wants to be 4 blocks high. And then what I meant by literally putting a lid on this thing is we're going to put the roof on, and the roof is going to look very, very cool. And the roof, not only does it contrast nicely against all of the colors that we've used so far, but it's got kind of like a cool component to it, as you know. So this is what we want to have so far. It kind of looks like a UFO or something like that. What we now want to do is place a layer of red concrete on top of this. And the red concrete actually wants to follow the same path that the yellow concrete does just below us. So the red concrete area wants to be the same shape as the yellow concrete, and it wants to cover all of the same space. So just to show you, the red concrete wants to be the exact same shape as the yellow and the light blue underneath it as well. and then you can completely fill it in. It gives you quite a good foundation, and it looks much better. Like it'd actually look a little bit weird if the roof that we just gave it wasn't exactly the same sort of shape. If it was a little bit smaller, it'd look strange, honestly. So we'll just fill all of this in. So that's perfect. Now, as you might be able to tell, the roof is looking a little bit flat. So what we're going to do, and this is quite tricky to do, but I'm sorry, but this is what we have to do. We have to make sure that we create an area of red concrete that sits 2 rows inside of the... It sits 2 rows inside of the top of the roof area. So this is actually going to be kind of tricky to do. It's something that you're kind of going to have to do by eye. I'll show you what it looks like once we've done it. So that'll actually go here, right, and then this will go here, I think. So that actually looks like that. So you want to leave a pretty good amount of space going all the way around the top. So it'll look a little something like that. So you want to leave, instead of like the usual 1 row of gap that we did earlier, you want to make sure that you have 2 entire rows that kind of like are left outside of the circular shape that we've made. I know that it's tricky to do, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately it must be done. And then we can fill the top of the shape in. And then we can add 1 final red concrete circle. It's actually going to use the same rules, but it's going to be a bit smaller. So we want to add another row of red concrete. If you just start with the sides, like the flat sides, it might be a little bit easier. It'll have this sort of shape, and then we can just fill it in. Actually, that's perfect. I think that we actually just nailed that. We've got 2 rows going everywhere. Actually, we've not. It's about... Hang on. Oh, I think that we've just done it perfect. So now we have this exact same shape, which is perfect. This is the shape that we want to have. We have 2 rows covering it. And now we're going to place yellow concrete coming directly up out of the middle. We're going to place specifically 1, 2, 3 yellow concretes. We're going to place 2 glass going right or forwards or anywhere. This is the spyglass at the top. It can face any direction. We're going to place 2 light blue glass extending right. 1, 2. And then we're going to place yellow concrete left, right, above, below all of the glass. So we just want to have something which should look exactly like that. So that is perfect, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what our tower wants to look like. And the only thing that you may want to do is you may want to get a little bit handy with some white concrete and a little bit light grey, maybe even some cyan terracotta and lime terracotta. And oh, there is also another thing as well before I forget. Connect the blue concrete on the left and right hand side of the door back to the tower. There we go, just those 2 little parts. It will just look a little bit better. But what you might choose to do is make a little bit of a path in front of the tower entrance, maybe like 1, 2, 3, extend the blue concretes left and right, 1, 2, 3 in front of the tower, just like this. Place white in there, and then place light grey concrete in the middle, like so. You want to fill it all up with your light grey concrete, like this. And then you might want to create an area around the base of your tower. This is completely up to you, like how much you want to add and all that pretty much. But I'm pretty much just digging like a big giant square area around the tower, and the square area, or rectangular area as it actually is basically just going to sit along the outside like this, and I'm going to take the corners off. So just like this, it's going to be a little bit of a circle. Everywhere that we have the corners, we're going to place this. And this is going to show us where to place all of the fake grass, because it contrasts nicely against all of the other grass that we have. So we want to have a shape that will look like that, like a big oval. And then we can do the same sort of thing with cyan terracotta, basically just drawing a big square around the tower in the ground, or rectangle. Again, it's a rectangle, but we want to dig all of this out, maintaining a distance of 2 rows from the grass at all times. And we want to place some cyan terracotta in there, except we also kind of want to just shave the sides off it a bit. So you can just take the corners out like this, and you can have the same sort of thing as with the grass. So I think that you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about now. We just have to have this, and you can imagine that going all the way around in kind of like an oval shape. So I'm literally going to dig all of that grass out. I'm going to get rid of all the numbers. I'm going to fill all of that basin, and then I'll show you what this build looks like once it's complete, because it's really cool looking. So this is what your Paw Patrol headquarters should look like once it has been 100% fully completed, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, you do have the option to add a little bit of a road and a grassy area around the base of your tower. I've shown you how to do that, and that is completely up to you whether you want to have that, but I think that it certainly enhances the tower, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this one. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, ladies and gentlemen, please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and click that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you would like to make any more cartoon related builds by me, check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comments, and probably the recommended videos and all those places. Check those out. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate all of you very, very much. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.